Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Sheng. The Chinese ride-hailing company Didi Global decided to delist its American depository shares from the New York Stock Exchange and pursue a listing in Hong Kong. On Friday, December 3rd, investors punished the shares of Chinese companies traded in the U.S. Declines cascaded broadly through U.S.-listed Chinese firms. In one day, Alibaba Group Holding fell more than 8%, cutting $27 billion from the company's market value. Pinduoduo Inc. also retreated more than 8%. Baidu and JD.com declined almost 8%. Didi Global was the worst, dropping 22% to a little over $6, below its $14 IPO share price. Didi is known for successfully pushing Uber out of the Chinese market after a bloody price war. Uber ended up selling its China's operations to Didi for a stake. Didi didn't explain the reason for the delisting. It just said it has received support from its board and would later require a shareholder vote. On June 30th, Didi raised $4.4 billion in an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange, the largest for a Chinese company since Alibaba in 2014. 2 days later, Chinese authorities launched an investigation into the company, citing serious violation of laws and regulations in collecting and using personal information. Didi was pulled from Chinese app stores and barred from registering new users. Soon after, another agency levied anti-monopoly fines against Didi and other tech companies over mergers and acquisitions over the past decade. Reportedly, Didi had been warned by Chinese regulators to delay its IPO, but chose to move ahead with the listing. Other Chinese giants seemed to get the memo. ByteDance, owner of TikTok, which had reportedly been considering an overseas IPO, put those plans on hold after meetings with the regulators. Tencent suspended new China registrations on the WeChat app to align with all relevant laws and regulators. In late July, China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology announced a 6-month campaign to regulate internet companies, particularly practices that disrupt the market order, damage consumer rights, or threaten data security. Authorities levied heavy fines against tech giants including Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent for violating antitrust laws and come up a new plan to restrict overseas listings by Chinese companies. Why did Beijing suddenly crack down the successful enterprises once viewed as homegrown champions, particularly restrict them to list overseas? Not too long ago, Chinese companies were encouraged to list on foreign exchanges to get access to capital, new investors, and new technology. Is it because these tech giants become too big, too powerful? Or is it because Xi Jinping wants to realign the country's tech sector to favor state-led development in the areas he cares about, such as artificial intelligence? Or there's growing fear that exposure to foreign markets is too risky in a hostile international environment. I strongly believe the reason is political, not commercial. What the Chinese Communist regime worries the most is the loyalty of the rich and famous tech giants who sit on large collection of data. In today's digital age, control of data is as important as control of the military and the media. Data has become the fundamental resource for the CCP rule. Didi's June 30 IPO was only 1 day before the 100th anniversary of the Communist Party. The timing was deemed unpatriotic. Rumors circulated on Chinese social media that Didi turned over user data to US regulators. The murmuring by Chinese keyboard warriors got so loud that the company had to post a denial to its official Weibo account. Only July 5th, the state-run Global Times ran an editorial saying that Didi, with 80% of the ride-hail market in China, holds sensitive information about personal travel and habits. It said the government won't let internet giants become the rule makers of data collection and usage. After the IPO, a 2015 report by the company's research arm recirculated on the internet. The paper detailed the comings and goings of government employees, including which agencies worked the longest hours based on its trove of user data. That sort of visibility, combined with Didi's highly detailed maps, can make authorities nervous. The Chinese government has been ramping up its control of cyberspace since the passage of the National Security Law in 2015. A 2018 reorganization empowered and gave new resources to China's cyberspace regulators. Regulations released in 2020 call for cybersecurity reviews of Chinese companies in the name of national security, and a new data security law effective September 1st broadly regulates the data practices of Chinese companies. The friction between the government and the tech came to a head in October 2020 when Alibaba founder Jack Ma gave a speech in which he warned that over-regulation could stifle innovation. Soon after, Alibaba's financial arm Ant Group cancelled a planned IPO in Shanghai and Hong Kong in December. Regulators opened an antitrust investigation into Alibaba, resulting in a $2.8 billion fine in April. U.S. government also added fuel to fire. A U.S. law enacted last year requires foreign companies to delist from American exchanges if they don't allow their audits to be reviewed by American regulators. Chinese law specifically prohibited the U.S. audit in the name of national security. Suffocating the most vibrant part of China's economy in exchange for more control has risks. But this is the risk Chinese Communist regime is willing to take. The leadership is ready to make sacrifices in order to shape a future structure of governance and a financial system that is much more controllable. CCP always desired to assert control of the Chinese people. It has existed in the past, but never with the means of technology, the means of large data crunching that now exists in China. And that is the primary reason behind the Chinese tech giants decoupling with the West. That is my take. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.